Hello and welcome to the Revolut Insider Podcast, where we explore Revolut's rocket ship from the inside out, one episode at a time. We want to take you inside the rocket ship and share where fintech innovation meets Revolut's culture and values. This is our first episode. I'm your host, Alex Carril, and I'm joined today by Antoine Lenel. Did I say that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Who is our partner and vice president of growth. Hi, Antoine.
Hi.
Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We are here in sunny Barcelona, recording this episode in the office.
Welcome home.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. And Antoine, you'll be sharing with us some insights into the Revolut company culture, our core values. Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Great. Well, first I want to know a little bit about Revolut and what inspired the creation of Revolut. What sets us apart from traditional financial institutions?
Sure. The whole idea of Revolut really came up as we realized the world of financial institutions hasn't been disrupted or didn't see much innovation for decades, and in the world of tech, I think now we really have the ability to properly disrupt all the industries. And I think that's what we've done with Revolut. I think we're getting a completely different approach to financials and the way you're managing your money, focusing a lot more on the user experience, and I think this is really what sets us apart, and we are breaking boundaries, I think this idea of a super app is very much what has been driving Revolut in terms of growth, meaning making Revolut the one-stop shop for all things money. Anything related to money, basically you have it right there at Revolut in the most seamless way and the cheapest way.
And in the palm of your hand, really, because it's a super app, right?
Absolutely.
So you have no need to go anywhere. You can do all of your financial transactions.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the palm of your hand.
And I think the other thing that really drove us and sets us apart to other fintech and so on is this idea of being really global. I think there are a lot of players out there, but they all tend to be local, while Revolut is in like 40, 50 countries all over Europe. We're as well in Australia, in the US, in Japan, in Brazil. We just launched Indeed, New Zealand, and so on. And I think that is a key differentiator in terms of really getting your products and just moving with it, and they follow you everywhere.
And we've hit some pretty incredible accomplishments over the last 8 years that Revolut has been around.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that Revolut is only 8 years. We've already passed 30 million customers, and that's globally. And that's really, really crazy. Now we are number one in more than 10 countries as the top downloaded app. And I think this really shows how much we are proper game changer, in this space, and how we are leading the way to disrupting the world of banking and financial products.
Definitely. And as an employer, we have about 7,000 employees already.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you think about it, 30 million customers, you need to serve those customers, and yes, from a hiring perspective, the growth is high, but it's just following the growth of the business, per se. So, and I think there's a lot more growth to come, both from a user perspective and for us as a company, as we are maturing and so on, and we need to make sure we give the best to our users.
Definitely. And beyond Revolut, what would you say to inspiring entrepreneurs out there who might want to disrupt an industry of their own?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, don't spend too much time on the strategy. Focus on the execution. And I think that's really what sets Revolut apart. And especially from the beginning is that Revolut, it's all about the execution. It's executing fast, executing well, thinking about your users first, and then whether you fail or not, but at least you go fast, and you dive deep into the execution rather than just overthinking things. I think this is what kills a lot of companies, is just tend to overthink, try to seek too much alignment, when actually you need to just get it done. Get it done, and then you'll figure out. And then you see how you can iterate to make things better, but at least you have a starting point.
And you don't get stuck in the same place doing the same thing over and over again, or just moving past it, right?
100%.
And tell us how you started at Revolut.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a funny story. Because I actually spent the last 8 years before Revolut, I was at King, the maker of Candy Crush.
Oh, wow.
And I think that gives a good idea on how disruptive Revolut is as a financial institutions. There are not too many who would go pick up their head of growth in Candy Crush to drive growth. And it's pretty crazy, when you think about it. And that's really awesome. When I got the opportunity to come to Revolut, I was like, hell yeah, I think with Candy Crush, I had the opportunity to really set a benchmark for gaming in the world, and now I have the amazing opportunity to do the same thing for finance, and just setting the benchmark. And I think this is pretty awesome.
That's incredible. And how have you personally seen the company grow, and where do you see it going the next year or so, the next 5 years?
Yeah, it's super interesting. So we are still fundamentally a startup in the way we're operating, in how fast and agile we are. But it's interesting how we are evolving. With great power comes great responsibilities. I think that's very much where we are at the moment. So we are managing to keep high level of agility, but at the same time realizing that we are a big business. We are a big, we're not anymore the one who's coming. We are there.
Yeah.
And that comes.
We're here.
Yeah, exactly. We're here. We're here.
Whoa.
Exactly. So and the way we're operating and the way we are behaving collectively has evolved to really take that into consideration.
Definitely. So, we are a fast-growing fintech. How important is our dedication to hiring and searching for the best talent so that we can grow and kind of reach these next visions that we have for ourselves?
Yeah. So, talent is everything. Obviously, without talent, there's no product, there's no growth, there's nothing, and I think we're really putting talent at the core of everything of what we do. Now, we as a company, we are very committed, in what we do, and we're looking for really the best talent. And I think what we're offering to the people out there is to be part of an amazing adventure, which is leading the way in disrupting one of the biggest industry in the world,
Yeah. Definitely.
And I think this is what is driving everyone here at Revolut and what should be driving people to come and join us.
And I know when I first started, I remember reading a place where the best idea wins.
Yeah.
Right? You can bring your idea wherever you are in the company at whatever level and propose these ideas, suggest some changes.
But that's really the core as well of our values. I think when we think about the way Revolut is organized, Revolut is a very flat organization. It's a place where everyone is hands-on, so there is no managing managers type of thing, the amount of overhead is really low, which means everyone is accountable and can push things, is a real entrepreneur within the company. And I've done quite a few companies in the past, and I can tell you, really, Revolut stands out in this space. So yeah, as you say, everyone can just drive his own thing, if you feel like you can do something different, you can, and you'll be encouraged to do so.
I love that. Great. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more Revolut Insider Views. This podcast is brought to you by Revolut Ultra. Enter a world of exclusivity with the Ultra plan from Revolut. From world-class travel to supercharged savings, Ultra is your ultimate Revolut experience. Ultra is only available in the UK and the European Economic Area. Terms and subscription fees apply. And we're back with the Revolut Insider Podcast here with Antoine Lenel. I love saying your name. It's so fun. Antoine Lenel. It makes me feel important just saying it. Okay, Antoine, I can't have you here without talking about Revolut's company culture because we hear about it often in our core values. Can you talk to us a little bit about those?
Sure. So we have 5 core values at Revolut. So we have Dream Team, Get It Done, Deliver Wow, we have Think Deeper, and we have Never Settle. All right. And Revolut really lives those values, because, and I'll go deeper, I'll give you some examples, but they're not just on paper, and the way we are hiring people, the way we are reviewing, for example, performance, everyone has a review and is graded on those the values and so on. So it's absolutely critical for us. Now, if I just take maybe a couple of examples,
please,
on how we are living those values on the day-to-day. So on Never Settle, for example, I think Never Settle, part of it is shoot for the moon. And I think this idea of us driving 10x in everything we do is really what is driving everyone. I always tell the team, don't look at the benchmark. There's no benchmark because we are the benchmark. All right? So don't look around, look forward. And I think this is really driving us. It's we shoot for the moon. And that means there's no limit. Just do as much as you can and think outside the box, And I think that's why as well, a lot of people come with no experience in what they work on. And we do value that at Revolut, because sometimes experience can be a limitation in terms of how much you can really disrupt things. And I think this is working really, really well for Revolut. Another one that I really like is Deliver Wow, and especially in the world of marketing that I work in, and we want to bring things to users that they've never seen, and every experience they have, they need to say, wow.
Yeah.
Say like, wow, this is different. When they use the product and so on, when we manage to make a credit, for example, we launched a credit product in Europe, you can get a credit in like 3 minutes, and this is like, wow, exactly, wow,
Wow.
You said it, and everything is like this. If you develop a product and you don't feel it's going to deliver wow, then it's probably not the right product.
And what's the point of putting it out in the first place?
Exactly. So yeah, absolutely.
And for people that aren't working at Revolut, how can they embody these values on their own?
Yeah, sure. So back to what I was saying a bit earlier, I think the get it done is very important. All right. Get into execution very quickly. Don't overthink things. Get it done. Never settle. So meaning as well, this aspect, something that you can bring in your day-to-day life, you need to always stretch yourself. And I think with this, you can really make a difference. With those two things, this will take you far, very far.
Yeah. And that goes for personal life and for professional life as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so you talked about this never settle spirit. How does that factor into a positive work environment?
Yeah, it's a good question. So first of all, at Revolut, we reward people for what they achieve, So we are offering extremely fast careers, and in that sense, we are great at recognizing people's contribution at Revolut. So I think that's the first element. People feel like they are being recognized for what they do. So this is the first element. The second element is we do have a global impact on the products or the activities that we are running, So you do see day to day. You can see what you're doing, and that's super rewarding. It's super rewarding to see it in real life. So I think this is the second aspect. And then what is important is the dream team aspect. It's working together and recognizing when there is a hard work happening, we have extensive paid time off, in that sense. We reward people for birthdays, we reward people across multiple aspects to make sure we offer the best condition for people. And at the same time, offering some time to relax after maybe some time where things have been pretty intense, and I think
to recharge.
Exactly. And I think having this balance, knowing that, yes, at Revolut, there is some work to be done, and sometimes it's not easy, but at the same time, it's really worth it. Not only short term, but long term. Short term, you can find definitely your balance. It works really well, but long term, it's career acceleration that is absolutely massive.
I think that's what attracted me to Revolut as well, is, hearing that you have a hands-on approach to things, that you're involved and you're seeing the fruits of your labors, you're seeing the successes evolve and develop, right? But also, I like to take vacation, and to have this generous time off and the work from abroad policy where you can travel and work from somewhere without taking vacation. To me, that was kind of the creme for the deal, right?
Yeah, we just extended this policy from 60 days to now 120 days, meaning people can actually spend 120 days working from abroad, And this is amazing.
Unheard of, yeah.
This is amazing. And people can really adapt their way of living. You see me, I'm living here in Barcelona. I've been here with my family for many years, and I love it. And I'm super happy. Revolut offers me the opportunity to do so, even though my teams are spread across Europe and the world. But I have the opportunity to do that, and I found a great balance into it. And this is not something that any company is offering.
And I think that you kind of said the key word here, and that's balance. At least for me, is finding that balance from work and life. Because yes, Revolut's a great place to work, but also personal time is important. And to be able to live your life and have an employer who recognizes that and who encourages you to take time off, I think that's really important. And that says a lot about Revolut as well.
Absolutely.
All right, Antoine. Well, our time is almost coming to a close. And, you mentioned earlier that you were you had changed jobs and you had gone from working at Candy Crush to Revolut. What would you say to someone who might be kind of in between career opportunities?
I think the first advice I would give is not necessarily pick a company, but pick the people you want to work with, especially early on. You need to have people to look up to and to know that you're going to learn from. A career is long. It's quite long. I mean, especially it's getting longer, So you need to know that, especially early on, you need to be in an environment where you're going to absorb a lot, where you're going to learn a lot. And that comes from the people that you're going to work with.
Totally.
The product is important. The mission is important as well, because it needs to align with your values and what you want to do or who you want to be. But I would really say focus on the people.
I love that. Yeah. All right, Antoine. Well, one final question for you. What advice would you give to yourself when you were just starting out in your career?
I think it's to never look back, move forward. And life is full of failures, but they don't really matter if you look forward. Live on your successes, not your failures.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Antoine, for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
And you can tune in next time to our Revolut Insider podcast. You can hit subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn, and also on Revolut Insider Instagram. This is Revolut Insider, where we explore Revolut's rocket ship from the inside out. Until next time, remember, the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. Revolut, change the way you money.